Today is August 17th, 2026. People are so dumb. I would have thought Ohio, and I don't live in a poor area. I live in working class, low middle class area. People work for everything they have. We're not the ghetto. No, we're working class. Lower to mid working class. Everybody works for what you got. But surprising, with nice homes, no gang graffiti everywhere. We're not in extreme poverty level. The people that would be willing to go along with having people drugged and told to say stuff, photoshopped and framed, being raped, and them using people that are selling and killing people here, because they're offering them millions of dollars of extorted money from the government. You help out. You'll be a millionaire, your children and grandchildren, when you get your part. Karen's will take care of you. Yeah, he'll take care of you. Now he'll take care of you, prostitute you the rest of your life. Or he'll kill you or use you for body parts. Like the investigator said, to these people, you are nothing but a piece of meat. That's how they put it. You are a piece of meat they can either use for sex slaves or body parts. You're a piece of meat to them. These people are animals and demons of hell. And the fool's gold they're dangling in front of people, oh, we'll give you millions of dollars. You'll never have to worry about a bill again. And you fall for such a scam because you're such a retard. You're such a retard. You'd fall for a con man, a serial killer conning you. That's the only thing he's going to do is prostitute you the rest of your life or use you for body parts. That's it. Think of that. That's all he's going to do to you. These people are so dumb, and it's that fucked up religion too. They believe the world is only 6,000 years old. That the world started when the Bible started. It wasn't here before. There was no dinosaurs. There was no Stone Age, prehistoric age. There was nothing until the Bible. In the where you go into museums, those fake dinosaur bones you see, they're fake. Science lied to take away from the glory of God. You believe the world's older than 6,000 years old? You're blaspheming God. Okay? Okay? In their religion, you can tell a lie. Get someone to verify it, becomes the truth. Still a lie. You get two of your friends to lie with you, now it becomes law. You can ruin somebody's marriage, end it, get them kicked out of church. You can have them go against you if you work for another Christian person, to cost you your job, your home, your livelihood. And they can destroy you and make sure you have nothing. And that severe cult. Now, does everybody remember the 1960s? The 1970s? When in cults, people, they would grab people, they entice people to join them. They would drug them up. Fry some of their brains. Human traffic them. Kill them. Remember that? Steal all their money. Remember the cults that did that in the 60s and 70s? Brainwash people. Do you remember that? Where they used to grab them and drug them up and brainwash them to believe something else? Do you remember the brainwashing of the cults in the 60s and 70s? Now, get the idea of what's going on here. That guy showed up August 14th, 26 in Bob Evans and Alliance. Big, huge guy, lightish brown hair, beard. He had muscles in 18 and showed up. Now it looks like he's doing steroids. His muscles are so big. Okay? He's like, and he's in Bob Evans saying it real loud. My phone is tapped by the police. They got a recording of it. FBI informant. Oh, and the police have let me know that absolutely they record through it all the day. And one of them has to document and verify everything for the FBI case. So they got those twits. I've been running it since the beginning. I remember him showing up in Walmart 62 in the middle of all those drug dealers. I'm the one running it. Karen belongs to me. I don't either. And act like he owned me. I'm in charge. So he's the one that had my skull bashed in me, raped, tortured, human trafficker. The human trafficker. Okay. He said Agent John only opened that case to steal the money for him. That's why he told her she couldn't say anything. So he could just steal all the money for herself. And he turned her over to me. And told me I could do whatever I wanted to her and he didn't care. He's sitting with a short white guy, bald, black strands going across his bald head, big black glasses, suit too big for him to the point because he's a short little runt. I think he's probably the one paying for it. And he's like, I told you, I work with that attorney that has people breaking people's homes. The police let him do it. Do you know on Google, if a police officer allows an attorney to break in somebody's home, set up behind cameras, listening devices, the police and the attorney both go to jail for about 10 to 20 years. At least, if not 25 or more. Yeah, the drugs, being rape, it's life imprisonment for both. Okay? Right on Google. Fourth Amendment, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a court order. And they have to have statement of threat of life from everyone in that home and agree to protect someone and have a court order or they go to jail. And it makes it not admissible. Where the Massillon police, everything they have is not admissible. They already told them that years ago. So the investigators, repeatedly. But do they stop? No. Okay? He said, I work with that attorney's office. The police let him break in people's home and break in and do things to them, like drug them for fake confessions. Photoshop and frame them. Running drug scams on them, huh? I told you what we found out about her before. Where they drugged me and told me to say it before. They had to tell me. They admitted in 18. Those drug dealers hated Dave and Melissa. They hired Judge Peter's group from Florida. The human trafficker and 100 men that got arrested down there, some of these people are still up here. And you know what's something? They're the ones telling on these people. They don't find them funny. That's sad. When drug dealers are telling on call people. Because they don't find them funny. Do you think it was just coincidence that those drug dealers showed up and announced they worked for a drug lord? In front of the cops and feds got their attention? That Melissa was going to help them get away with it by having the kids lie? No way. Yeah, I talked to her. I told her to say, so they follow her around. So they catch her lying. And then on Thanksgiving of 18, that they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. And later on to Flora, they made everything up. They were games of pretend. They're documenting me games of pretend. Okay? Well, what else did they do? Probably between Thanksgiving and December 21st, 18. Here, Dave ordered me to be killed. Okay? They showed up, and that fucking bastard, that arrogant asshole, Dave wants us to take her out and kill her. Who does he think he is, talking to us like that? We weren't hired to do that. We were hired to do this. Does he want us to do this to him? We get paid to do it to her. I know. We weren't hired for that. Dave and Melissa had this planned out for months before they did it, to ensure they both got everything during the divorce. And when she went for custody of the kids, she wouldn't be able to help John. This way she'd be ensured to get the kids. Her and Dave came up with it together. Decided that she'd be the more appropriate parent. They were using Z drugs on her. Z drugs are hypnotic drugs. They have had hypnotic drugs since 30 or 50? They redid them in 1960, the ones that cause sleepwalking, amnesia. The dangers of using them because it can lead to your death because your conscience isn't up to warn you that something's wrong or danger. You're walking around wide awake and your conscience is shut down chemically. You can drive a car, have sex, talk, eat. No idea what you're doing. For 4 to 6 hours. They used to brag out Faith Family Church had mind-controlling drugs. It's the Z drugs. The hypnotic drugs. Okay? And the dangers of using them. They've had them for 200 years. I want you to think about that. So does law enforcement know about those? Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Dave was part of using the Z drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before in the house. That's the way to ensure they both get everything in the divorce. Why don't we take her out and ship her? That way someone can't take over. Or take off with her. We won't be able to find her with what's going on. So it's before 12/21/18. They told on him several times how they didn't think it was funny because they wanted everything in the divorce to have me raped, tortured, my skull bashed in. A victim they're playing with. Just to make sure they could get everything. And then they were going to steal from the government. Told you, Strange hated the government. Government's evil. They'll go in your home, they'll take your kids, they'll brainwash them. They'll come in and take your guns, you have to hide them in pipes in the backyard. That's where he didn't know the Fourth Amendment. He didn't know the freedom of speech either. That no man in the United States can tell you can't say anything. No one can. No court order can be signed except a judge in a jury trial during the proceedings only. No one can sign it. Both the judge and, like, what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say something they don't get their money? It's 20 to life. It's blackmail. In the Stark County Sheriff's, we thought he was just acting that way. We know it had been blackmail. Extortion out of government funds, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness, same for a judge if he signed such a court order. Just like if he would sign, if she said anything that you wouldn't have protection, it's attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness. It's 20 to 30 to life. Same for a judge. See, that's why they thought he was acting like that. It's the First Amendment. When you look at the First Amendment, like they said in 23 up in Akron, no man can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial while the proceedings are going on. That's it. There's nothing else. When you realize it. It was only bullying me. It's a bunch of bullshit. But that guy in there, where he said, that short little one with the black hair and glasses, he said, I listened to her today in her apartment. What if she tells the family members that she knows those people she knows lost family members to the drug dealers we hired? to help out in this, and they sold those people and killed them. Their family members may retaliate against the people that hired them. I'd hate for anything to happen to them. Oh, the people that hired the killers that killed other people here? You'd hate for anybody to get in trouble or harmed for having serial killers show up and then killed a bunch of people here? You need to get liked and better. You know why I haven't told them? Because I didn't want anything, the drug dealers to harm them. And I want law enforcement to do their jobs and put these animals in jail. Do you understand? Animals in jail, where they belong. But they admitted to hiring people that sold and killed people. Act like it was nothing. Nothing. Like they said to those groups, you are nothing but a piece of meat to them. Something they can sell, kill, use for body parts, or a sex slave. That's how they take care of you. They prostitute you or sell you out for body parts. They'd never give anybody money. How can somebody be fooled by serial killers? And that guy, you know, I used to live on North Chapel Street in Louisville. Moved out of my apartment. I had moved in with Carl. Some guy moved in there. Okay. March 30th, 25. Afternoon. I was working 2 jobs. I was resting in the evening. Afternoon. I was outside with my neighbors, Amy and Harry. They happened to fix their car. I hear I was in the office when they met with that agent. It's like, oh, hell no. He said, where that church is sending out emails to other religious groups to help out in this, that's a terrorist act. You know that, right? Our religious group was there from the beginning. So he belongs to a terrorist group. My God. He said, and I was even in that office when they met with that agent. And when he asked her about the doctor from before, she said she didn't know who he was. He knew she was lying. I wasn't the one lying. So he had her taped, then they say the filthy, dirty statement. What did Dave tell Danny? It was just some guy named Petey hired on his own. When I found out he's also that Henry Moffey that admitted he never met me in person, which happens to be Agent John's girlfriend's dad. I found out. Impersonating a doctor. So they knew it was a scam. They knew they used the Z drugs on me and drugged me up and told me to say it before. They knew that. He said, he turned her back over to us and said he didn't care what we did to her. So part of that terrorist group that is selling and killing people, godly people don't hurt people. Where he's got Jesus on the back of his truck, it needs to say Satan possessed. Human trafficker. A serial killer. Get the idea? Now, I've lived in that apartment building for 6 years. People all know my ex was messed up and was drug dealers. Dear God, in 2019, they were down there yelling how they drugged me and told me to say it before. Yelling about Melissa's lies, photoshopping everything, photoshopping the shower scene. Remember, by 21. Okay? Went over to Amy and Harry's on April 2nd, after my wedding. Okay? I said, Amy, do you remember when they used to chant outside my apartment? They drugged me and told me to say it before? Yeah, I remember that. I said, this is it. I said, do you remember when that little white guy screamed at a big drug dealer? You framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. Remember that? She started laughing. I remember hearing that. I said, this is it. Get the idea. Get the idea. They offer people tens of millions of dollars, extorted money from the government. It's fool's gold. You're never going to get it. Like they said, these people got caught buying their witnesses. But that guy that's part of that religious group, that guy that was bragging that he that agent turned me back over to him, has to be the leader of that religious group. And that's one of his dweebs. My old apartment. You know, old ladies that live in the white building on North Chapel on the corner? Not North Chapel, but Chapel Ridge. They're outside talking. The police always said never to say a word to her, that they knew drug dealers did this to her before. That guy said he was part of it. Why haven't they arrested him yet? He went around knocking on doors and told people they ought to be afraid of me for being a drugged up rape victim that was almost murdered. And you should be scared. She lives in this apartment. Shouldn't be scared of me. You need to be scared of him. He's part of people breaking in people's homes, drugging them up, beating, raping them under drugs, keeping them drugged up and human trafficking them with drug dealers, running drug scams on them, drugging them up and telling them to say stuff and photoshopping, washing. Get the idea? You ought to be afraid of him. He's a head terrorist. One of his dweebs are in Louisville. You know, I didn't even know about this. They wouldn't have said a word. I thought it was well water killing me. We move up there. By the 6th day, somebody kicked in the door to the wall. Dave's like, don't report it. A realtor probably passing out keys. They don't pass out keys. They leave them in a lockbox, and we took it out the first day. They literally kicked the door into the wall. They broke in. Okay? Had to put mesh and patch it. That's when the button cameras go up stalking me. You know how illegal that is? Taping in the bathroom, those drug dealers they hired admitted to selling kiddie porn to my grandkids going potty. Sold me on porn sites. The well water was orange and chunky. It took us a couple months to get a water treatment system in there. I thought it was toxic. I bring in bottled water to cook and drink, but you have to take a lot. You have to shower. You're working. You have to wash your hands. And here, I thought it was toxic. By the 2nd week, I'm up there. I got bruises all over me, throwing up, severely infected. For God knows what reason. Well, it's probably because I always used to mow the lawn. I'm out trying to mow the lawn, and my heart's racing through my neck. I'm collapsing in the front yard. The guy next door comes running over. I'm a nurse. Can I help you? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll mow your lawn for you. I don't know what's wrong with me, and I don't have money to pay you. Neighbors don't pay each other. I'll do it for you. And I does a bunch of small talk. Everybody knew it happening. And then at times I'd be fine. I'd get up in the morning. I would get dressed. I'd go outside. I worked like crazy on that house in the back edge of the backwoods. Because when you walked in the back, the trees open up and they're over 100 foot tall. And the leaves would encase us off. It's beautiful. Somebody had been partying in the back. There was beer cans, bottles, food, and I had 10-year-old grandchildren and younger. So it took me weeks to pull trash can after trash can out. And then when we got the septic tank in, Dave wouldn't pay for them to drop topsoil and dirt, so I had to rake it from the front to the back and put grass seed down. It took me weeks. I did the flower beds. And there was bees' nest in the ground out there, and those things are mean, and they were always getting in the house and swatting them. I was always swatting them. I told Dave we needed an exterminator. He said, what are we going to do, exterminate the whole 5 acres? But I get up and go work outside, come in, wash my hands. I had, same money, I had a 2-liter Diet Coke. Made a sandwich, poured a glass of 2-liter Diet Coke. Went and used the bathroom, washed my hands better, walked out, sat down, and took a drink in the room, went to see in black. Last year, when they re-brought up the hypnotic drugs and drugged and told us they had before, they admitted a stab on me in the hallway. And I thought, why wouldn't I remember that? They shouldn't even remember that. I thought, why wouldn't I remember being stabbed? Come on now. Then I thought, you wouldn't be looking for a drug dealer. They admitted they were hiding behind doors, and as I'd walk by, they'd stab me and lean back. The injection, time I sat down, took a drink, the room went to seem black. And then hours later, I'd have bruises all over me, throwing up, severe infection. And the only thing new to me is that orange well water. And times I take a shower, dry off, get in bed, wake up with orange, lemon, and grapefruit-sized bruises, severe infection. And I'm going to the doctor all summer long. Is it the well water? Is it toxic? Never seen, never talked to anybody, never even had my neighbors in my home. How would you like to find out rapists are playing with you like this? When the rapists want money, the rapists can go to hell. Don't get a fucking dime. Not a damn dime, and you don't have one thing admissible, but they can put you in jail for it. And it is law, you go to jail for it. See, these people are dumb, ignorant, occult people. Messed up with drug dealers. Running drug scams. See, their whole thing was to get that agent to open up a case that would be fraud. For him to defraud me, if I don't get paid, it gets thrown out. And for leaving me up there, and see, that's where I talked to my friend Walter, with that agent telling on me for calling the hotline for. He spoke to me, told Apostolic Church of Barberton after the hotline. He told them he knew I was being drug, beaten, raped, and didn't care because somebody had called me a faker 15 years before. It was medical malpractice, fraud, and medication errors almost killed me. He didn't care I was being drug, beaten, raped. On a recorded line, made fun of me, how he had all those church people in his office. Knew they were trying to kill me because Strange made up that lie in 2003. Because I know, because they were trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick. I wasn't faking. It was a 4 or 5 year old deal. And what did that family that lost their kid in a traffic accident do? They told March 27th, 25, told a federal agent that they were all lying to the FBI to help them get away with this. Never offended them. Strange calling her a faker. She wasn't even there. Lisa's father killed her kid. And it was 6 months later. He made up that lie. It didn't even concern him. They're all lying to help him get away with this. They were all trying to steal. I'll tell you, they were all trying to steal for Katie's family. So why they're all in there lying? With their scam, they thought they could scam the government out of money. And see, that's where that agent on a recorded line knew they admitted they had him in their office. They knew they were trying to kill me, recorded line. Mocking me. And that he didn't even blame her for trying to kill me. Even says that, makes fun of me for some guy named Pete, stalking tapes. And I thought, he has to have the wrong person. First I thought, why is he lying on my brother? I haven't seen him in years. Talked to him on the phone. And then he talks about some doctor for sexual disorders or one of your brother. At that point, I had to catch my breath so I wouldn't yell at him to stop lying. Then I thought I had some other lady use my insurance. Half my medical records are her. I found out through the FBI. It was another girlfriend of Dave's. It wasn't random identity theft. And I had to run up all kinds of bills in my name. See, that's where... Okay. How he met with that family in his office, the ones that were lying, and all the church people that were lying, knew they were trying to kill me because Strange made up that lie to cover up Tim and Katie. The person he made up the lie for, the one that he made up the lie for, is they're trying to steal for her family. She's worth $1,100,000. She's not poor. She owns a big dairy farm. And it's supposed to be her family member, Michelle, and her dad, Pete, Henry Moffitt, whatever he wants to pretend to be, running a drug scam on me with drug dealers. And him making fun of me for that, he knew that wasn't my doctor. Why? Because when you find out, when he says we could use Pete's tape or weird with yourself, what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Says something else. And I thought, why are you lying on my brother? He has to have somebody else. I don't know who you're talking about. What? Then bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor for sexual disorders or one of your brother. Told you I had to hold my breath. Of what? Why don't you stop lying? And then I thought, maybe it's one of the other ladies. I said, I don't know who or what you're talking about. I thought he has to have somebody else's file. He's laughing. Stop, you don't know. He knew I didn't know. Because that's his girlfriend's dad playing both parts. And he's running a scam, too, to steal from the government. See, if the FBI, like Walter said from the prosecutor's office, they don't pay you, it will get thrown out. That agent telling you, bullying you on the recorded line, like the Stark County Sheriff's, we thought he was only acting that way. It can get thrown out. And for me being mistreated so bad. See, that's where the FBI needs to take a hold of this case. Take it back. It's one ours. Agent John may try to put a spin on it, but it's our case. It's a real threat and attempted life case for an FBI informant with statements, money, and immunity. He stole from the government, we'll put him in jail. Tried to run a fraud scheme on us, we'll put him in jail. Karen's one of ours. They need a willing statement also, so they can't get it thrown out for me being abused. That I was willing to stay up there while they surveillanced me, knowing I was risking my life, personal injury, possible death, but still willing to stay up there while they surveillanced me so they could get these people to threaten my life and others, knowing my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, that other agent was only bullying me, and the FBI would be the one paying me and compensating me. They do that, have me sign that note, it has it notarized, and they pay and compensate me. It takes that legal loophole they're using, trying to get all those drug dealers released, and they're going to sue for tens of millions of dollars, false arrest under fraud. They're going to take $10 to $30 billion from the government in lawsuits. And like Walter from the prosecutor's office, they can. If they don't pay you, and if it's not fixed, and I looked it up, if I don't sign like a willing statement, they're going to get that case thrown out. And it goes into the nationwide human trafficking scam. Thousands got arrested. Hundreds were saved. And I don't think Agent John is funny. And people need to stop harassing me for someone call. Now, as if you don't know what a roofie is. I met a U.S. Marshals kid. She took a drink at a bar. The room went dizzy black. Don't know what happened to her the whole night. Happened again, and she ended up in the hospital. Didn't know how she got out. She moved out of this area for safety. The cartel was playing with her. Did it to my co-worker, Dar. She was taken and raped. Don't even remember meeting him. My neighbor Mike didn't know how he got out of the bar, didn't know how he got home, didn't know how he had money in his pocket, what he had ate that night, and then tried to tell me he was a New York cop and thought I was pretty. He was stoned out of his mind. He left here too. See, I want you to realize, as if you didn't know what a roofie was, or a date rape drug, and hypnotic drugs are the drug of choice. because you're sleepwalking under their control. And people need to start turning them in and realize where that guy said he was going to give you money, you know what he's going to do? He's going to sell you. Serial killers don't share. And they don't have anything admissible. And they're playing everybody. And it's a bunch of drug dealers that call people with no education. What is the jail sentence for a police allowing an attorney to break in somebody's home, set up button cameras, watching them break in and do stuff? Life. For both. And they're not admissible. It's a Fourth Amendment. They can't even let them set up button cameras watching you. It's a Fourth Amendment. Where they say the Constitution doesn't matter. It does. It's a terrorist group telling you nitwits this. I'm going to upload this.